Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with Member of Parliament for Niagara West, Dean Allison. He is the former Shadow Minister for International Trade for the Conservative Party. Thanks for being in studio with us today.
Great to be here, Tony.
It's great to have you. I wanted to just dig a little bit deeper. We did talk before the break about Canada-U.S. trade relations and some of these not only irritants, but having huge impact on the economy. So just bring our viewers a little bit up to date. Keystone was given the go-ahead by the Trump administration. The Biden administration was elected. Tell us about that, and tell us about what you expected a Canadian government to do in that situation.
Sure. Let's go back a little bit further, because we talked about Keystone originally being approved by the former Trump administration. We had a bit of a rocky road with the Trump administration. I think you'll remember that we had this issue around aluminum and steel tariffs, right? And this was devastating. And the states claimed that China was dumping steel into Canada, and we were letting it go through to other North American markets through Canada. And so they put a tariff on both of us, which was obviously very difficult to deal with. I remember at that time, I was on the phone, it seemed lightly, with steel and aluminum producers trying to figure out what was going on. It was on aluminum boats. It was that, what was that going to matter? So that was a good thing. I mean, we had the Keystone approved under the Trump administration. Let's fast forward to today, and one of the first things that President Biden has done is cancel Keystone, and that is hugely problematic. We, as you're all well aware, Alberta is landlocked in many ways, and they produce all our oil and natural gas and all these great energy products, but the challenge is getting them to markets. And so I believe that's still going to be an issue. We do put a lot of things on rail, and as I mentioned before, that puts pressure on our agriculture sector and a number of other sectors, and being able to share that space. And so I believe until we get the pipeline issues settled, not only are we going to take a lesser price for our oil, which is always discounted to the world price, but it's also going to affect the jobs and the opportunities that we actually have in our oil sands in Alberta.
So would you say, and is it the position of the Conservative Party of Canada that the Keystone decision is not a final decision, it's still worth fighting for?
Absolutely. I would think that definitely given the number of seats we hold in Alberta, not to mention the fact that here in Ontario, I don't think most people understand that are watching that, there's a lot of manufacturing jobs right here in Ontario that actually go towards, building the pipeline and a number of different, downstream products and plastics, all these things that are important. And so I think it's very important for us. And if we look at it before under Obama, right? He said no. It wasn't going to happen. We had a different administration with the Trump administration who thought that was the case. So I am always optimistic that at some point in time, and if we're looking at a North American energy sufficiency and making sure that we have got the ability to be sustainable in North America with our own energy, I really believe the U.S. needs to look to Canada as part of that. I mean, they're doing a tremendous amount of oil and gas themselves,
right.
But I really believe in terms of energy sustainability in North America, we should be looking at how we protect that in Canada.
Trudeau government took a different tack, though. They basically ran up the white flag and said the issue is over.
Yeah, and my thoughts were is that when the Liberals or the Prime Minister Trudeau bought the pipeline, my personal feeling was that I never believed that he was serious about actually caring about the pipeline. And so when I don't see them fighting too hard, to your point, then it really leads me to believe that I don't know how serious they were about the pipeline to begin with.
Let's turn our attention to one other issue relating to pipelines. That's the Line 5 Enbridge pipeline. Aaron O'Toole, the Conservative leader, came out strongly in favor of that pipeline continuing to exist. The Michigan government wants it to disappear. Do you have any particular thoughts on this matter?
Well, it's absolutely critical. If you think of all the jobs that it is tied to, this would be devastating in southwestern Ontario if we're not able to get this through. And I know that I think when people boil down all the things behind it, the jobs that are involved and what it means to both economies, not just ours, but the U.S. economy as well, I'm hoping that cooler heads will prevail and we'll have an opportunity to approve this and move forward on it.
Do you think that Canada's doing a good enough lobbying job on it right now?
No, I think there's always more they can do. And, the challenge has been with this government in place where they believe that, all energy is bad, or most energy is bad unless it's renewable. I think that they could be fighting a lot harder for it.
We're going to continue our discussion after this second break. Dean Allison, Member of Parliament for Niagara West, as well as a former Shadow Minister for International Trade. Thank you for being on the program. We'll be right back after this break.